I just had some Iranian activists on the program. They are hoping that this will lead to regime change. I mean, when Netanyahu was interviewed by Brett Baer yesterday, he said that is not the explicit goal, but it could be the outcome of their operations. It's up to Iranians whether they rise up. Do you think this is likely to play out, that Iranian civilians could seize this opportunity and take back control of their country?
Look, the Iranian regime's unofficial slogan is death to Israel. Israel's unofficial slogan is the people of Israel live. Between that, there's very little room for compromise. The reason we have a conflict with Iran is the Iranian regime doesn't want Israel to exist, and Israel wants to exist. And Israelis are nostalgic for the days that there were flights between Tel Aviv and Tehran, and they weren't drones. So obviously, if the Iranian regime goes and they establish a democracy instead, that's the source of the Middle East conflict gone. And we can have peace between Israel and Iran. Now, you're right. The Prime Minister is saying regime change is not the explicit goal of this war. This is about eliminating the existential threat of an Iranian nuclear bomb and Iranian ballistic missiles. But stranger things have happened. No one predicted the fall of the Soviet Union. No one predicted the fall of the Assad regime. And if the Iranian regime falls, if the leaders choose to flee because they understand their time is up and Iran can form a peace-loving democracy, that would be an outstanding side effect of this operation to save the world from Iranian nuclear bombs.
We've got less than a minute left, and Eylon, I just want to ask you about the hypocrisy of Iran targeting Israeli civilians, and we haven't heard a word of condemnation from the international community.
You know, the G7 just issued a very important statement saying it stands with Israel and Israel's security. So we know world leaders are with us. But I have to say a word to all the activists who've spent the last year talking about humanitarian law and proportionality and distinction. Don't care when Israeli civilians are under fire and have to run to bomb shelters and dozens of Israelis are killed in ballistic missiles. And it's clear that all their language of international law and human rights was just to dress up their hatred of Israel and Jews. They don't really care for humanity. They're anti-humanity.
So true and so disappointing. Eylon, really love having you on the show as always. Thank you so much for your time.